I'm Jim Turner, Release Boatworks. We're here to do a dock walk at Pirates Cove. I bought my resident expert of the Stuart, Manatee Pocket, Port Salona area.
I eat a lot of
Mike
kingfish.
Murray here. Where are we at, Mike?
Well, we're at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina, place that I called home for 5 years with my charter boat. A lot of the local sport boats dock here. It's a little bit early. Guys are still trying to make their way. The weather's been terrible, so there's a bunch of people hung up coming down the coast. But this used to be the epicenter of the Stuart sailfish world. Kind of still is. Things have changed a little. But
Did one of the big tournaments run out of this marina?
Oh yeah, the Pirates Cove Classic is still one of the biggest tournaments here in town, and great place to be, close to fishing. And
Isn't there like a Treasure Coast?
Oh yeah, there's
trifecta
the
or
series.
something?
Yep, the whole series. You got this tournament, the Quickie, and the Pelican up in Fort Pierce. So it's a little bit of a tournament series that happens before the live bait tournaments go on a little bit further south.
Okay, so without any further ado, let's go down to the docks and check it out. Take our walk. So we're starting our dock walk here on the North Dock, and come right up first to a 37-foot ocean billfish. Great concept, done back, I guess, about 15 years ago.
Yep.
I want to say they made about 30 of these. Most of them had Yanmars in there. They built a lot of them with pods, I think, so you have pod systems in there.
A few, anyway, yeah.
I think they even made a couple of express models, but eventually sold this to Viking, and they continued the billfish series, from there. But great concept. This is a game boat concept, just like an old 37 Merit. Same kind of layout. No mezzanine, 2 drink boxes. Simple. Yep. Very, very simple.
I had the chance to fish on one in Capos. John Mumford, before he had that big Monterey boat he runs now, had one of these. And I was pleasantly shocked on how well it fished. It was really nimble, and comfortable. It was great. The AC was pumping in there, even though it was an open bulkhead. It was nice to get out of the heat. But
I think when they designed this, they went outside the traditional ocean.
The recipe?
The recipe, yes.
You mean get the wife to buy the boat?
Yeah, yes. This is a fisherman first boat. Yeah. For sure.
No, for sure. For sure. It was a cool rig.
And still to cater to the Jersey guys, you had to have the lower helm station.
Right.
Let's move on, see what else we see now on this dock. This is another lures. We've seen a couple of these in our dock walk so far, but just a classic, I don't know. Is it a classic?
I don't know if you can call it a classic, but this guy's got it done up pretty nice. But just a production boat through and through. If I can say this, they're not in business anymore, so I can. Pretty low end, low quality. I remember a guy up north, giant tuna trolling one time, hooked up going by us trolling, and the entire gunnel was 90 degrees to horizontal, and they were all holding the rod down. Pretty lightly built boat, but there's tons of them around.
I think originally from Jersey. Remember when they were wooden boats, weren't they?
I think so.
I think they were the original Jersey speed skiff.
Yeah, I think so.
And moved to St. Augustine.
St. Augustine, yeah. But they sold a lot of boats. Can't deny that. That's for sure.
So we're doing this dock walk thing. We're always looking for unicorns. I don't know if this qualifies as a unicorn, but this is a hull that's near and dear to my heart. This used to be called Game Time.
Yeah, I believe this is the old Game Time.
This boat actually won the Mid-Atlantic. So this is a new paint job. I don't know, maybe the guy is a Washington Redskins fan or Washington Commanders, whatever they're called now.
It's really red. Fire engine red.
Jerry's rig. This is what I would define as a game boat. This is very traditional. Yep. This is not an old boat, but she still has classic lines, classic look. Yep. 100% fishing first setup layout. It's got the handrails built into the top of the house. A great overhang, so you're always in the shade.
Pretty rig for sure. And as far as fishability, again, it's nice to go run around in these giant sport boats, but I'd rather be in this in a tournament, doing tight circles and staying on bait, and it really is a really far superior fishing boat to a giant rig.
Yeah, we're always looking for custom boats, but got to give the nod to production boats. This is a 47 Buddy Davis. I think between this and the 61, he built like close to 300 boats.
Yeah,
It
was an amazing production line. Like every 2 weeks a boat came out.
So this is the second biggest production boat builder in North Carolina, and this was the first biggest production builder in North Carolina. Hatteras, first fiberglass boat. First fiberglass fishing boat was Hatteras.
Yep. In fact, in the 80s, if you looked at all the tournaments, wherever you went, the vast majority of boats in those tournaments were Hatterases and Bertrams. We used to like to say it was like having a Ford or a Chevy, the Hatteras or Bertram. And then there was a sprinkling of custom boats in between. This one I think is a 46 and it's had a lot of work done to it. The house line has changed. It's got a Tom Slane vent in it. Tom Slane made a whole business out of customizing Hatterases. This one's been taken care of. It's pretty good shape, pretty nice looking boat.
Yeah, you can see the curve they put inside the house. That's pretty sexy.
Yeah, these 47 Davises then became 52s. Remember, they stretched it, and it ran a little bit better.
Yeah.
Most of the Davises, the 47s, were built with 892s in them, and they kind of didn't run great. They were really bow proud, and I was, I don't know if I'd say lucky enough, but I was able to work. I lived on one for 2 years back in the early 90s. I had 10-cylinder Mans in it.
Oh.
And so we did a little bit better. We did 24 knots. It got up out of the water a little better. So then we went and put spray rails on we put chine rails on the boat. And that boat went from 24 knots to 27 knots. It really was pretty awesome, you know. Gosh, we caught a ton of fish. We've charter fished at Singer Island there at Sailfish Marina.
Well, and these were known for being able to back down and spin pretty well.
Yeah,
too.
again, you know, for a little bit bigger boat, they were pretty nimble for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's funny because back in the day, this was a big boat.
Yep.
I mean, the 61 was massive.
Yeah, you talk about the
Back
80s,
then.
the 54 Bertram, the 60 Hatteras, and then when that 61 Davis came out, it had all the curves of a custom boat, and it was just shocking to people, you know. It'd be something if that was managed maybe a little bit better, that they still built boats, you know.
Well, I think a lot of Carolina custom builders went through the Buddy Davis program. I think a lot of them worked for him.
Oh, 100%.
He was definitely ahead of his time.
If you go to Albemarle now, which is right there in Edenton, which is right up the road from Elizabeth City where these were built, pretty much I'd think 4 out of 5 people that are over the age of 40 came from at some way, shape, or form the Buddy Davis factory, as well as a bunch of guys in Wanchese for sure.
Cool. Well, I don't know if either of these qualifies as a unicorn, but let's keep heading down to the dock because I know where one is. To see a unicorn in the wild is always kind of a fleeting glimpse. So, to me, there's the unicorn, and it's a little further away. It's one dock over from this marina. That is the coolest boat between there and the end of this marina. Tell everybody what it is, Mike.
It's a 63-foot Revenge. It's the only one like it, and it's got the same name on it as it did when it first splashed. It's had one owner. Pretty incredible boat. It's called the Real Joy. Interestingly enough, it's for sale because the owner built an 84-foot Duffy that looks a lot like it. They're usually flag blue hulls, but he painted that for somebody else so that I think it would sell easier. But super fast boat, super high performance. They only built 3 big Sportfish boats, right? They built the 55, the 63, and what was the other one? It was the wide body, the Revenge.
Yeah.
I can't remember how big that one was, but
I want to say that was a 50.
58. 58.
It was 58, but that was cold molded, I think, at the time. But that boat's actually pre-preg carbon fiber, right? So that went into an autoclave, into an oven and everything.
Yeah.
That's like as high tech. That's like sailboat shit.
Yep. Very cool boat.
And catches fish. You might have seen it at Sunset Marina because the owner of that boat is the owner of Sunset Marina.
Yep.
In Ocean City, Maryland. That's definitely a unicorn in every sense of the word.
And no mistake in the lines of that boat.
The windows, even though the windows are like old fashioned, it still looks cool on that boat. You know, it's like you don't see windows today with that kind of hard brakes, hard edges, everything softer, radiuses.
But it still looks like it's doing 30 knots in the slip.
Yeah, yeah. So we always talk about we want to find the boat with our favorite name. This is Matt's favorite name, Frigate. Interestingly enough, we spoke a little bit before when we were talking about that game fisherman out there, but one of the most famous game fishermen is named Tierreta, which is Spanish for frigate bird.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna bust Matt's chops too much that he likes that name.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So our second game fisherman of the trip. This is a 40-foot Express. They didn't build a whole bunch of these, but again, classic game boat layout, everything purpose built. I think this might be my favorite name because if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
Sure.
Right? Somebody added this transom live well.
Yeah,
I don't believe Mike Matlack ever built.
No, that wasn't there.
That.
Yeah, I know the fella. This boat, as just says, at Punta Gorda. I actually went to the West Coast to go look at this boat when they were doing refit work, and they did a ton of refit work on this boat. So I don't know what's been all added, but
I notice, again, classic lines, right? A little bit of tumble homes, got the guardrail down there, the detail line. But I notice, is this like a Stuart thing now?
No. This is a lot of people.
This is like the capital of where it all started.
That's not exactly faux teak, I don't think. I don't see any grain. That's just brown paint. So I've seen a few of them that did that, where they just painted it brown. From a distance, you don't really tell, but when you get up close, you surely can.
It's just pure fishing machine right here.
Yep. I mean, look at how long.
Yeah,
look how long that cockpit is for a 40-foot boat. It's incredible.
So when you're fishing, you want to fight the fish. If you're standing up, you want to fight the fish from the corner. So to get, as I always say, you want to get over to that corner from this corner, like three steps, and you're there. But you can have, we used to fish this boat with four anglers and 2 mates in the cockpit, and nobody was ever in anybody's way.
No.
And I think we had a fighting share on that boat.
Yeah. Cool rigs for sure.
Yep. So Mike, what you know all about this boat, right?
We're going to talk about unicorns. This is kind of another unicorn. So This boat is all aluminum. This is a Bro Brothers boat from Lauraville, Louisiana. They make commercial boats, oil service vessels and stuff like that, crew boats. And they made a handful of these sport boats, and this one's been in operation here. Henry's owned this boat for, I bet you, 40 years. And you see he's got a for sale sign on it. He's finally getting out. But I had a charter boat here at the same marina, right down where that frigate is, and we used to fish together all the time. But he's kind of winding down, and everything is aluminum, 100%. Also has no muffler, so it's really loud. But that could be fixed if you're thinking of buying this thing. But it's got a single 600 horse lugger in this thing. Yep.
Does have a teak deck.
Sort of.
That actually is faux teak.
Sort of. Anyway, very unique boat. Unicorn.
So this is our next unicorn, I think, at the dock. This is a 62? 62 Spencer. What you know something about this boat, right?
Well, this boat used to be called Maverick. They now have a big tribute boat, but this boat's called A Ton of Fish, and now it's 4-reel. Wink Dosebacker used to run this, old Montauk guy, and now who was the mate is now running the boat. Ocean City boys, and 2 brothers are on the boat, and beautiful boat. And then for a 62-foot boat, we keep talking about boats being nimble and stuff. For a big boat or bigger boat, this is a nimble boat.
Well, Spencers are famous for how fast they are too.
Yep. This boat, I believe, has C18s in it. A lot of these 62s did, 62s and 59s. But just a great boat, just a heck of a fishing boat.
Small details that a typical custom boat has. Handrails built into the top of the house. I feel like pipe welders is making their towers.
The vintage that this boat is, this was probably a pipe welder's tower, yeah. Actually, it is, because I can tell by the rod holders, the little slots on the rod holders. Of course, they don't do that anymore. Most of the Spencer towers are Palm Beach towers or Bosch towers.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. For a while on the hardtops, all the teaser reels were run inside the hardtop, but that's just not feasible. When you've got a fish pulling on it, you can break your teaser line off there, or pull a rigger down. So now they just have a little grommet and it runs out just like it used to. It's much more utilitarian than it used to be.
Well, it's like we were talking on loose boat. You can reach up there and grab that and pull it away by hand. If it's just obviously you're not doing that with the dredge, but if you're pulling a squid chain or a Moldcraft wide range, your teaser, whatever you're pulling, you can pull it away by hand and do your bait and switch. That's the way we love to fish. So if you look at the cockpit, one of the things you don't see is any hatches. There's no fish box hatches, no access to the lazarette. Your fish box or your kill box, as we always talk about on a Carolina boat, is in the transom. Interestingly, your access to the lazarette is through the engine room, underneath the middle, underneath that rocket launcher. You get there. It's, if you have a problem with claustrophobia, maybe you should work on a different boat.
But that's a very traditional Carolina boat thing. They have 2 tanks with an open alleyway in the middle.
Yeah.
And all your gaff storage is in there. You can put all your flying gaffs, your straight gaffs, anything you need, polyballs and everything can fit down through there. It's kind of not a bad concept. It pretty much waterproofs.
It's a great concept because it does exactly that. It waterproofs your cockpit. If you're backing down, taking green water over the top, you fill it with water, you don't have to worry about it. You'll also, from a boat builder standpoint, hatches are a pain in the neck. They're nice to have lots of hatches, but everything has to be hand fit and everything. You could make the case that this is a better way.
Yeah. So this boat, this is a Richie Howell. another Wanchese boat builder, custom builder. Tremendous seaboat, fantastic seaboat. This boat spends its time between here, the Dominican Republic, and it, obviously goes on its own bottom back and forth. And it spends most of its days fishing. It's a charter boat, so it spends a lot of time offshore. Very functional cockpit, very similar to the Spencer in some aspects, but obviously it's got some deck hatches there. It's got the transom box, which, as you're saying, has a minimal bump in the transom. So if you're going across the transom, standing up.
The builder, Richie used to come down and stay with us at Costa Mesa and fished a lot.
Yep.
And out of Guatemala, so he probably fished on a lot of our boats down there. And all boat builders are sponges. We're always looking for unicorns because we're looking for one idea. What's the one idea that I can get from this boat and use it on what we do? It's my friend says, every boat you build looks the same. Yeah, it kind of does. You got 1/3 cockpit, 1/3 house, 1/3 foredeck. It's a pretty simple formula.
One interesting thing, if you look at the teak deck, is instead of the caulk between the wood being black, it's white.
And
pretty unique. Yeah.
We have one of the guys we're building a 55 for right now.
Right.
He was contemplating whether he wants white caulk.
Now,
and I like the look of it.
I will say this, I do too. Okay, but if you look up on the mezzanine where it's wet, now you see the big contrast where it's wet.
Yeah.
I fished with VJ Bell runs this boat. We fished in like I said, in Dominican Republic, we fished together. And when this deck gets wet, all of a sudden that white just jumps out. I will say that it's a little distracting. You probably get used to it pretty quick. I do love how it looks sitting at the dock. It's beautiful. It's a lot lighter, It's just something different,
Reminds you of your sailboat days. This to me is very sailboaty.
You're going to get video of you swimming at this in this nasty water if you watch your Jersey mouth.
Interesting fact about VJ. So VJ ran one of the boats that before I owned it, he ran Finest Kind.
The Finest Kind, the Whitaker,
Old Whitaker.
Yep.
He's one of the more famous captains from this little area right here.
Let's put it this way: if you catch more sailfish than VJ here, write the date down because it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. So Matt, when I was your age, we had this guy from New York. And he was a comedian. His name was Andrew Dice Clay. And the way he would say this boat, because he'd have a cigarette in this hand, he'd say, unbelievable. This boat is unbelievable. Something like that.
When I was charter fishing, I used to love calling him because I used to do that on the radio. I'm still 15 in some aspects.
Yes. Yes. So that was Pirates Cove. Saw some unicorns, saw some cool game fishermen. We did not see a 31 Bertram.
Nope, but there was one down the dock, but can't.
Yeah. If you like these dock walks, tell us where your unicorns are, and we'll come take a dock walk by you. And I think we're going to South Carolina. It sounds like
Toller's Cove.
There we go.
All right.
So we're starting to have a lot of these dock walks on our YouTube channel. Check it out. Give them a look and see what you think.